From a practical behavior perspective, the Master Mason's apron or perspective or kind of role can be evaluated as one of flow. And so we'll talk about this a little bit more in both the relational and the sort of philosophical aspects of it. But from a practical perspective, what this feels like is that the work that you're doing has very little, uh, let's say self awareness, but very little mental load when it comes to the meta, right? So when you're busy trying to figure out what to do and all that kind of stuff, that's really a kind of a lower or different perspective. When you're a master mason and you are confronted with the work, moving through the work becomes, I would say, effortless because it's not quite effortless, but it's there's less sort of cognitive friction when it comes to the execution. Um, when you are in a master mason state, you can move quickly and easily from one task to the next. Context switching becomes easier. Understanding when and where and how and why to do things, it's all implied in that mastery, in that mastery kind of understanding, masterful understanding. So when you are trying to evaluate what that looks like for you behaviorally, and you find that you're having a hard time getting started in it, um, you might want to kind of cognitively step back into a fellow craft mason's perspective from a sort of behavioral perspective and go, listen, there are reasons why I'm not able to enter this state of flow from a practical perspective. What are the things that I need to still learn about what I'm trying to get done so that then I can move to that kind of powerful place of the master mason? Again, with a lot of that practical sort of functional stuff, some of it is just making sure that the if you watch a master craftsman of any type, for example, the way they interact with their tools is a real good indicator of kind of where they are in the scheme of things. First off, a master mason or a master plumber or a master craftsman or carpenter or whatever will bring the tools with them that they need, plus any other extras that might be useful when they pop up. But they don't just kind of just toss them around. They deliberately set them up and put them in arrangement, either the order they're going to need them, the order they're going to use them. Um, they'll know what tools are required to solve the problem. The same thing's true in when you're working with somebody that's a master in a cognitive domain, an attorney, a doctor, creative of various types. They will bring with them the tools that they need to solve the problem. Maybe you identify the first place to look. That mastery uh, can again be evaluated really as a complete or almost complete reduction of uh, the decision making processes around the meta process of the work. Those are all kind of behind the master mason. They've learned all of those things such that when it comes time to do the work, they can just work. If you find yourself struggling to get to that, again, step back to fellow craft, give it another look, see what you might be missing, and then move into a more of a masterful space. From that behavioral perspective as well, the master experience is uh, informed by the self, by your self concept and all that kind of stuff, but not dictated by it. You are not executing the work in service to uh, more of a unstated or poorly understood internal concepts. It's much more a function of kind of a clear, vulnerable, and authentic execution. And that'll make its way into the work in this very, very kind of visible way. When you see somebody in flow, practical flow, a lot of the practical requirements of life kind of fade to the background. You might skip meals, you might skip, or delay bathroom breaks because you're in a spot where you're just so able to effortlessly execute that it's hard to leave that space as well. So as you start to look for that, please share your notes on how you get into that flow state and what that looks like from a practical, functional perspective. And we'll see you in the next episode.